Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Apologies for starting quite late. We're supposed to do this program at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. West African time, but then I guess was caught up in between and had to do a few things. And then there is this 2 hours difference between Kenya and Nigeria. So we had to strike a balance and see how we could bring in this program. I know a lot of people have been sending messages since afternoon. I'm wondering why Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku has not held up until now. But anyway, we're here now, and thanks for the patience. Today, we're looking at COVID-19 once again. We're looking at vaccination, we're looking at the vaccines. What are some of the conspiracy theories? Why are people hesitant in taking the vaccine? Those who have taken, if you're watching right now and you've taken the vaccine, please do share your experience with us. And if you're also watching right now, we're streaming in 3 destinations actually, on Shagalinku TV, YouTube, and Facebook pages, and also on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. So please do share the link right now, the live link, and let your friends join us. We'll be looking at COVID-19 vaccine and vaccination. How is it going? Why are people hesitant and all that? And from the flyers, you already know my guest is coming all the way from Kenya. And I have all the way from Nairobi, Esther Kazungu. Hey! How are you
Wow,
doing?
what an introduction. Thank you, Emmanuel. I'm good. I'm
Hmm.
really good and very happy to be here.
Yeah. So, for first time as well watching you, I'd like you to tell us more. I know you do a lot. I see some of your very beautiful skits, but we'll talk about that some other time. But tell us a little more who Esther Kazungu is, what you do, and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So, my name is Esther Kazungu. As Emmanuel has told you, I am a content creator and digital activist based in Nairobi, Kenya. And basically, I just I create content. I love making people laugh, and I love holding conversations about like what's going on in my country, and issues that face young people, issues that face women, and even just generally issues that face human beings. So that's basically what I do, and I'm really glad to be here. Really glad to meet Nigeria virtually.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's good to have you. I know you're a very busy person, your skits, video productions and all that. But take us through your journey, how you started all this, because I know content creation it's becoming it's young people are embracing it, especially during the lockdown where everyone had to stay at home. You know, we got stuck with the internet, social media. Everyone was looking for succor, ways to laugh and forget the sorrow. So, how did you come into content creation?
I actually started creating content way back in 2016. I set out to be famous. That's what I always tell everyone who asks me. I wanted to maybe create a name for myself so that it's easier for me to get a job. Like I felt like my social media page will be my audition. So I do things there and people just see, oh, she can actually fit in TV. She can actually fit in this show or that show. So I started out in 2016. I paused for a while in some years, trying to balance that with school, trying to balance that with work was not easy. So in 2020, actually, when the pandemic hit, we started working from home. That's when I actually started going back to content creation. It was so easy because I'd leave my workstation and just move now to my studio, which is literally the same place. And it became easier because when I was working, most of my time was taken by the transit from home to work and work to home. So last year was actually a very major catalyst towards my content creation, my growth, my going back to content creating. And it may have been like a bad year for most, but for me, it was the year that I actually came back to what I love doing. And so it has been, from last year, I have been very consistent. I've not paused. I have been doing the most. And I've done like content, not just Kenyan content. I've gotten to do South African content and Nigerian content. I literally, because I'm doing things to do with politics, like recreating political moments. So I've touched, I've traveled through my content, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I like that skit on the parliament, and all that. Very, very funny one about the parliament. And oh Lord, I think that one was South Africa based. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my parliament videos are South African based, but I've done a little Nigeria, like I've done some Nigerian skits here and there. My older videos, I'll share them with you.
Oh, fine. That would be nice. I like to watch those ones. I really laughed when I watched the one for South African Parliament, and you did like two, three different roles at the same time, and I was like, this is really good. Esther is a firebrand.
Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna start calling myself that. I'm a firebrand. Firebrand. Thank you, Daniel.
Firebrand Esther. Okay, so let's come back to our topic of the discussion. So much has been happening. The vaccines finally came, and just when we were thinking, okay, it was time to sail on, speculations and conspiracy theories started flying around. I know people complained of having side effects. Some said blood clotting, some said weakness, and all that. So that also made a lot of people refuse to take the vaccine. Why we're even looking at this discussion today is let's even be asking people and asking their opinions, what they think about the COVID-19 vaccine, and what they can do to change that perception. Because the truth is, it has come to stay. They are making it now like a travel requirement now. So very soon, just like the yellow vaccine card, you can't travel without it. But let me even seek your opinion. What do you think about the vaccine and the vaccination going on so far?
I well, for me, let me just start by saying I haven't gotten it yet, and it's just because I'm busy, as you said. I'm kidding, but I every time every time I try to go somewhere, somebody already tells me there's a line, and that really discourages me because I feel like actually for us, especially for Kenya, what discourages a lot of people is the fact that there's stories of people who have actually gone. Someone can wake up as early as 6 a.m. and they're there at the center or at the hospital, and they'll stay up until late and they still won't get the vaccine. They'll go home having not gotten vaccinated. And those stories are discouraging. Like, even I'm just discouraged by that. But other than that, I've not really, maybe the jokes here and there about the what will happen once you get the vaccine, you get a glitch. But I don't think I'm taking the jokes seriously. I'll definitely, like, any chance I get, I'm definitely going to get the vaccine because apparently there'll be another one which is going to be sold, and I want to get the free one. I want to get the free one. um Other than that, I'm not against it. I'd really advise, especially my parents are the difficult ones. I'm trying to tell them, go get the vaccine,
Mm,
go get the vaccine now. They're the
yeah.
ones I need to convince. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So, why do you think people are scared? Um, a few people have asked. I've also been trying to get the vaccine as well. Every time I get there, they tell me there's a specific time that they open, and they don't even work during weekends. So that shuts me out. But I know hopefully this week I'll try and get. But why do you think people are scared of not getting? Because everyone I ask who has taken, they just tell me they are okay. They just have mild fever, and then the next day they are fine. So why are other people banking on the conspiracy theory and not taking the vaccine?
I think mostly it's because it's the same way when Corona like came, when it started out and people were like, this thing is not true, because they didn't know someone who had
Mm,
it. So for the vaccine, I kind
mm,
of feel like it's the same mentality going around, because I don't know someone who's gotten it. I just automatically think if I get it, they are going to be I just don't know because I haven't met someone who has taken the vaccine. But there's that, and then there's another analogy someone else actually gave me. I asked them, why wouldn't you take this vaccine? But we took the polio vaccine when it came and stuff like that. And she said, this corona hasn't been here for long, and they already have a vaccine. So that really scares them. Like they think it should be a vaccine should have been gotten after a long time of research and and all that. So it's also kind of understandable to fear it that way and look at it that way. But for me, for the major reasons, for the major reasons I've had is that one, for not knowing someone who's gotten the vaccine, and also the fact that corona hasn't been here for so long, and so they're just thinking the research that was done to develop the vaccine was not enough.
yeah. Okay, okay. So I'm beginning to get messages. So if you want to drop yours, drop it on the comment section. And Esther Kazungu is here. She'll be replying to some of them, and then we'll take it up from there. This one here says, "Hi, good evening. I've been waiting for this show since 2 p.m., but it's good to know that you guys are live now. I'd like to say that people should go and have the vaccine. It is for their good." This one is from Timothy in Abuja, Nigeria. What do you think about that, Esther?
Yeah, I mean, I love it when young people are actually discussing this amongst themselves, because I feel like the majority and the people who have a major influence on what's being said about the vaccine, or what rumors are flying around, are the young people. So if young people
Yeah.
can be the at the forefront telling people to actually go get the vaccines, it's going to be very effective and impactful in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to open up the message again. There are some inbox messages here, but I'll read them as we go on once they open. Okay, so let me also ask this: is the media doing enough? Do you think the media is doing enough to sensitize people? Because the kind of awareness we created during the COVID itself, I'm not saying that when it comes to the vaccine, especially with telling people about the side effects, everyone just keeps saying, go get the vaccine. In fact, people didn't even know there might be side effects, until we started hearing here and there. So, do you think the media was also prepared to sensitize people that, hey, like a child who takes a polio vaccine or one of these growing up vaccines that you kind of your body reacts sometimes, you might feel a slight headache or fever, but it's okay. It's just the body immune fighting the system and all that. Did the media do enough for this?
I don't think so, because okay, unless I might be wrong, because I don't really watch much of tea nowadays. However, I feel like people have gotten news and information about the vaccine through social media. So it's not, I don't think media has done enough. If so, I think the older people are the ones who are watching TV a lot. And if media was doing enough, the older people would not be afraid of getting the vaccine, because they'd have enough information. They'd know this is what I'm supposed to expect, and this and this and this. So the fact that the older generation are the ones at the forefront denying and just really being scared about getting the vaccine, it means that they have not gotten the information that they are meant to get through what they subscribe to, which is mostly TV and which is mostly mainstream media. But as for these other types of media, social media and whatnot, I've seen enough sensitization, but not necessarily from bodies, just people who, say, influencers who have taken it upon themselves to pass across this information. I, for one, didn't even know that there are like specific hospitals that the Ministry of Health had actually a list of the hospitals where people can get the vaccine. And so I just asked recently, and somebody forwarded the messages to me, and so I shared the details with my followers. So mainstream media not so much, but these are the forms of media. They've done their best.
Yeah, okay. So let's even come back to what you do. How do you think you can use your content creation in also doing a whole lot for passing across the message? Because yes, the new norm now is there's a whole lot of acceptance of skits and all that. Don't you also think that content creators like you can now begin to look for ways to also, because people will watch skits every day, they may not watch the secular or regular news, and you guys have the power. It's, yeah, people can laugh, but like some of your skits I watch, it's hilarious, but it passes lots and loads of messages. So are there not ways content creators can begin to look at how they can use some of these platforms, very wonderful platforms they have, to educate people on COVID-19 vaccines?
Of course, Emmanuel. Of course, there are very many ways influencers and content creators can use their platforms to educate people. I, for example, will refer to, I don't know if it was Nigeria, I'm not sure. If you will forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it was Nigeria or Ghana. I saw a group of comedians just come together to create content around not making rape jokes. And I thought that was very powerful. If people can come together now to create content related now surrounding the topic of corona and the vaccine and everything, it would be very effective. Because now when I saw, I didn't see one video. I saw a bunch of videos of my favorite Nigerian or Ghanaian, I'm not so sure, creatives, and I realized this is actually a campaign they're having. It's not just someone woke up and decided they're gonna create content around this. So I feel like if there's a whole, maybe creatives just come together and say we're gonna use this hashtag and then we're gonna create content around this, it's really gonna go far. That's one of the ways they can use their platforms to encourage people to get the vaccine and also just continue educating people about corona in general.
Mm. That's a good one. So, how did you come about? How do you rather create your content? What's always at the back of your mind when you do some of these skits? They are so wonderful. What's at the back of your mind? It's like when you interview musicians and you hear some beautiful songs they've written or performed, you kind of begin to wonder what inspires that and all that. So for you, what's yours? And you have a huge followership. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. Well, for the parliament videos, I've watched, especially for the essay parliament sessions, I've watched those for a long time. Like, I knew those videos exist way before last year, and I was very shocked when I started recreating them, and people were like, "What? This actually happened?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it is very random. I can say I didn't like sit down and say this is the way I'm going to do, or this is what I'm going to do. This is the path I'm charting for myself. I did not
Yeah.
think about it at all. It was all just coincidence. Like, I made one video, it blew up, and people started asking for more. So I started doing research and kept recreating the videos, and all of a sudden I had created a whole genre for myself, which I was the only one doing. So yeah, it was just mere coincidence.
There was one you talked about a woman who was sleeping in the parliament, and I laughed, I laughed, I laughed.
My favorite, my favorite essay parliament moment.
But have you gotten any attacks from them, like saying you're making fun of some of the things they talk about in the parliament?
No, they love me. Actually, doing that type of content actually gave me audience from South Africa. I think
South
when I started
Africa,
out,
yeah.
I knew for a fact only Kenya. Yeah, yeah. So when I started doing these videos, I got audience from South Africa. I got followers from when I did the Nigerian, I got followers from Nigeria. When I did from Ghana, I got followers from Ghana. I even got followers from the UK. I was like, wow, okay, okay. So yeah, it's so wide.
Yeah. So let's talk a little about your journey so far being an influencer for change. When did you apply? How did it get to you? How did you feel when one thing is knowing that you're doing something to impact the lives of people. Another is being appreciated. Every time I win an award or get appreciated, it just reminds me of all the hard work you do that people don't see. Sometimes people just see us do these things. They don't know we are also human beings. We go through our own challenges, but then we try to push aside our personal challenge and want to make people happy. So take us through your journey as an influencer for change for Connects US.
First of all, I this is the question you ask me is a question I keep asking myself. I'm like, who sent me this link? Because it's not a contact link. It was actually a follower. And I feel so bad I don't remember who it is. I can't go through all my messages because they are a lot. And then Instagram isn't so helpful when it comes to that because it doesn't display, you can't search for a word and then it brings you now the conversation that has all the conversations that contain that word. So I know one of my followers sent me the link and was like, you can apply for this. And I remember I applied on the very last day, like it was D-Day, and that's the time I had seen the message. So I was like, let me just apply. I hope I'm not too late. And I applied and I forgot about it. And then when they contacted me like via email and told me you have qualified, I was confused because I thought it was another thing I had applied for. So I was confused. I'm trying to say, I don't know. I'm not sure they've chosen the right person because the other thing that I had applied for required me to be in Nairobi, and I wasn't in Nairobi. So I thought that's the one that had called me back. So I told them, and then later on I realized this wasn't them. They probably were so confused, wondering why I'm telling them about being in Nairobi and all that. But the journey has been amazing so far. I have loved the sessions. Like I said, I was there to learn, and I have learned a lot so far. Also, it's very interesting to just see how problems, like we share problems across Africa. Like when we talk about trusting the government or not trusting the government, and seeing that that's something we share with Nigeria, it's very interesting. And Lebanon, very, very interesting. I'm excited to learn, as always. Excited that actually somebody saw my platform and saw that I can actually do something for them with regards to something that's actually happening in the world. So I am honored, Emmanuel, to say the least. I'm very, very humbled.
Yeah. Congrats once again, anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I got this message here from Judith Itwa. It says, keep up the good work. Okay. So this is going out to you. They said you should keep up the good work. It's from
Thank
Judith
you.
Itwa.
Thank you, Judith.
Okay. So let me also find out this. Um, in as content creators, you need to go out sometimes to get materials. You might need to shoot in some locations depending on what you're trying to portray for that moment. How do you see now that movement is a bit restricted, with the COVID-19 thing? You can't shoot in some places, you can't gather in some places, you can't use restaurants, public places like the way they used to. Is it also affecting people who do this job, not just even for skits, but maybe for actors, for musicians who would like to shoot their music videos and all that? How are they coping in this new era and new norm?
Well, for me, I can speak first for myself, then for the others. For me, nothing changed, Emmanuel. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm actually an introvert. It's very difficult to believe, but I am such an indoors person. So when Corona came, not affected, still in the house. Everything I create in the house. I use special effects to make it seem like I'm not in the house on some videos, but Corona didn't affect me at all. However, I know for people who, for example, are travel vloggers or lifestyle vloggers, people who have to actually go out and show people that they have gone out and are doing something outside, it most definitely became like it came as a blow to them. And people actually talked about this. I actually saw someone on Twitter mention how it's been very, like, they can really notice how content creators, and especially those who uh, did travel vlogs or did outdoor content, are really struggling to find something to create that's not in their bracket. You see, for me, I'm used to these indoor things and I'm used to making indoor work. So for them, it was actually very difficult. As for actors, I don't think so much, because I'm seeing our series are still continuing. Our favorite shows are still continuing. So I'm guessing they're still working and
Working.
just maybe observing they're observing the COVID restrictions and whatnot, distancing, wearing masks and
Mm.
everything. Was there another group you asked me about? Oh, musician. Oh, interesting. I was actually
Yes.
meant to be a well, to model for let me say model for my friend for her video shoot. And it didn't happen because of COVID. Her director was to travel, like come in, fly in from another country, and he wasn't able to. So everything just got cancelled. So musicians have
Mm.
definitely been affected, especially musicians, more so because they depend on concerts and shows and these public forums to actually make
Functions.
money, and all those things have been cut down to exactly. So all those things have been restricted, and it's not it's just of course it's a burden, and um it's very sad.
Mm. Okay, so we'll be wrapping up soon, but I also want you to talk about the role government needs to play in all this, because I'm seeing a lot of government agencies across Africa, doing the same thing that's happening. Government agencies that you think should be saddled with the responsibility for information dissemination. They may feel they are doing as much as needed, but when you go to the streets and sample people's opinion, you find that there's a huge disconnect between the government and the people. So the government is saying something on one hand, the people are either feeling something else or just assume that the body language of the government is different from what they are saying. How do you think, as an influencer for change, government can begin to find a way to synergize and work together with the citizens to achieve results in this pandemic?
Well, first of all, that's a very good question and a very difficult question to answer, because I don't think we can build trust in a day. I don't think we can build trust in a day. And so the track record for the government over anything else, not even just anything to do with COVID or the vaccine, but most governments, at least I can speak for our government, we don't trust it on a lot of things, because of a lot of things, because of their past and because of the things they keep doing. Even as we are in this pandemic, there are certain things that they keep doing that really show us that they might not care for us as much as they say they do. So if they will just, for example, let me speak for Kenya, there is COVID. Can we just ban all rallies? You see, can we not? If we are, if us, if we the citizens are not meeting, we're not being told, we're not allowed to gather, then so are the leaders. Like, we're not supposed to be seeing these photos and videos of gatherings. That's the first place they need to start. Show us before you tell us. Show us. Lead by example. So I don't think it's a thing that they can just do like in one day and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, yes, we trust you today. No, it's going to need them to do something over a long period of time. We're going to need to see this character over a long period of time for us to be able to trust the government. So it's not really a just this question, this is the answer type of question, Emmanuel. I feel like there is a lot to be done by the government for the citizens to be able to trust them, including leading by example and genuinely showing that they actually care for us.
That's a beautiful one. So as we wrap up, what would be your word of advice to young girls coming up? We talk a lot of time about women empowerment, girl child education, but we still find that in real life, girls still find it hard to thrive in some areas. I'm sure you're one of very lucky few who could always have a way in certain things. But when you are with your girl folks, the complaints that you might be getting, even in terms of education, in terms of career building. There's a whole lot that it affects the girl child. So, what would be a word of encouragement to young girls who are coming up, who would like to be like you, who are also looking up to you, because you are everywhere. Your videos are everywhere. People love you. People love what you do. And there's one young girl somewhere in the village who is looking up to you and saying, I wish I could be like Esther someday. What would you like to tell her?
Well, first of all, self-awareness is key. I know people never like talk about this when it comes to giving motivational speeches, but self-awareness is key, because once you figure out who you are and the things that you like, you will not try to do something that you not do something that you're not, be something that you're not, in order to gain influence, or let's say maybe you're looking for fame or whatnot. So first of all, self-awareness and authenticity is key. And don't give up. Whatever you set out to do, do not give up, because if you give up, who else is gonna do it? You either do it or you do it. So don't give up. Authenticity and self-awareness.
Wow. I got some messages here, so I'll just read them and then you respond to them as we wrap up. This one is from Adetoro Esther. She's your namesake. She's your namesake. She says, this issue of COVID vaccine. Hmm, That's what just she said.
Hey, Esther, you're making us worried. What do you mean? Expand.
Oh God. Then there's another one here from Itwa, Judith Itwa, a second time. She says, thank you for sharing, but I will never take the vaccine. This from Judith Itwa. What would you like to say to people who just decide that they may not take the vaccine?
I mean, you know what? This is just okay. I almost said this is, but this is not just their lives. Because you see, if it was something to do with I'm not going to go to school, that decision will not affect the next person. It will not affect anyone around me. But if you say you're not going to take the vaccine and then you're going to be a threat, a health threat to the people around you, and that's not fair. So at least for the if it's too much and you're not going to do it for you, do it for the people around you.
True. That's very true. Well, Esther, we need to wrap up now, but I now bring you back to talk more about the entertainment industry. There's a whole lot I need to ask you about the Kenya entertainment industry and also Africa. You know, Africa is beginning to lead the world when it comes to entertainment. Burna Boy just won a Grammy. A lot of Africans are also winning international awards. Yeah, it's like you like Burna Boy. I see you screaming.
Who doesn't like Burna Boy, Emmanuel? Who?
Wow. So what would be your last word of advice as we wrap up the show right now?
So one, please guys, why are your people, Emmanuel, why are your people not wanting to take the vaccine? One, and very important, please do take the vaccine. If not for yourself, for the people around you. And it matters life and just generally dreams and everything. Do not give up on yourself. If there's going to be someone who is going to sleep on you, let that person not be you. Don't sleep on yourself. Believe in yourself and go for your dreams. Don't ever give up.
Wow, you heard it from Esther, and thank you so much, Esther, for being there for us. I know she had a very busy day today, and it's amazing how we're even able to pull through this show today. At some point, a lot of viewers had called in to say it's the Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku not going to hold again. And once again, apologies to all our viewers and fans for starting way far behind schedule. But then that's how it is when you have a woman on the show. You know, you need to wait for her to put on the makeups to look good. You can see Esther came prepared. Anyway, thanks to everyone who joined us today. On Saturday, we'll be looking at renewable energy, how we can turn waste to riches and waste to wealth. And I'll be having a guest from Ghana, Dr. Sam Ogala, will be here to talk with us on renewable energy and how we can begin to look at things climate change friendly and all that. I still want to thank my guest again, Esther Kazungu. She's a digital activist, a content creator all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so much, Esther. And I hope to bring her here again, like I said, sometime when we have good time for her to tell us some of the challenges and how females can delve into the industry and show their talents and all that. Anyway, thanks to everyone who joined us. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and urging you to have a beautiful Tuesday. Till we see you again, God willing, on Saturday for a fresh edition of the program Shagalinko TV. Have a beautiful time and do remember to stay safe, stay blessed, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.